us off.
I'm going to kick us off. Welcome to Setting the Bar. I'm Maddie, and I'm here with Sarah. Actually, wait 1 second. How do you pronounce your last name properly?
Cater.
Yeah. That wasn't one I guessed. Okay,
Yeah.
Starting over. Welcome to Setting the Bar. I'm Maddie, and I'm here with Sarah. And we are here with UFC fighter Calvin Kattar. Welcome.
Welcome, Calvin. Cal.
Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, do people call you Cal?
Some do. Yeah. I get a whole bunch of nicknames.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You have actually a very cool, fighter name. Tell the people what your fighter name is.
Yeah, I didn't make that one up either. Kind of stuck.
Yeah.
Some people, they call me the Boston Finisher.
They do.
But it's because I fought a New York guy.
Yeah.
And the promoter's trying to do a whole Boston versus New York thing. And
it's a good one.
I was finishing a lot of opponents at the time. I was like 8-1 with, I don't know, a bunch of finishes. So they called me the Boston Finisher. And the team kind of joked about it when I fought here at the Garden back in 2018. It was like, if you don't get a finish, man, you have to change your damn nickname.
I know.
You know.
Did you get a finish?
I got a knockout
Nice.
third round.
That's
It's big,
pretty
so
awesome.
lived up to the name.
That's
it
nice.
still sticks.
Nice. So tell us, for the people who don't know, is a finish a knockout, or
So-
you just very clearly?
Yeah,
beat
finish
them?
for me. It mostly means a knockout. I've gotten one submission, I believe, in my career, but you could also submit your opponent where they tap out if you get them in a choke or something like an arm bar, like a joint lock where you can possibly break a bone and they'll tap out. It's pretty crazy. But a finish would be either a submission or a knockout generally.
Very cool. Very cool. So crazy.
finisher.
You just beat people up and get whacked in the head for a
I try
living.
my best.
Yeah.
I try my best.
Yeah.
Did you always want to be a professional fighter? Did you grow up boxing? Or tell us a little bit about how you came to be the Boston Finisher.
Not at all. Looking back, there were a lot of red flags that I'd be doing this. That makes sense now.
Right.
But I started wrestling, and the reason why I started wrestling was because I didn't make the basketball team. I tried out, didn't make it. I started wrestling 2 weeks late, and that first week I started wrestling, that weekend there was a tournament. I jumped in. It was a freshman-only tournament. I ended up getting gold. I won 4 pins in a row. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just mushing people's faces and just trying to pin their back to the mat.
Yeah.
But I got a bracket and a gold medal, and I was hooked. So
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And you grew up in Methuen?
I did.
Yeah, right outside of Boston.
That's it.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
suburb
that's right.
Methuen.
Yeah. And was that at Methuen schools? Did you
Yeah,
gradu-
Methuen Public Schools, Methuen
Yep.
High. Graduated in 06.
Okay.
I was fortunate. I had a great wrestling coach, Bill
Yeah.
James. He kind of set me on the right path, and it really kind of taught me a lot of the values that I still carry with me to this day. Hard work,
Yep.
head down mentality, and
Yeah. Yeah, before we started recording, you were saying how you even get your mom now into the gym. So
Yeah.
it sounds like you have a really good roots.
trying. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a family business.
yeah.
I was just going to say a family affair.
Yeah.
We talk a lot about how Boston is such a hard-working, gritty city, and you were just talking about those kind of things that brought you up. Were those really big values in your family? Are your parents, where did you get those values?
I feel like from New England, you kind of get that tough mentality. I always grew up around tough kids in Methuen and in the area. I just felt like not a lot of people kind of did the right things with it. There's a lot of fights around town and things like that, getting in trouble. And I happened to, like I said, join the wrestling team, and it got me on the right path around the right time. And when you can go left or right,
You went right.
I had a good coach. Yeah, he kept me on the straight and narrow and working hard, and it instilled a lot of the values that, like I said, I carried with me to this day. But my father also, and that side of the family, kind of always scared me straight too. I never wanted to have to, get into trouble, because
Right.
I'd be more in trouble with the family than the police.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
they're
You know?
the scary ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, that says a lot. And I think that's also sort of, as we think about Boston, that seems to be a mentality in Boston.
For
as
sure.
That sort of patriarchal family.
Yeah.
So you're obviously a very successful professional athlete. You're very disciplined in your life. What is your workout routine?
I feel like it doesn't stop. It pretty much is. It is a lifestyle.
It is a lifestyle, yeah.
I try to think of it sometimes in camps, things like that, but it's 24/7.
Is it 24/7?
Yeah, because fighting isn't only training.
Yeah.
It's getting the
Yeah.
right amount of sleep. It's eating the right
Mentality.
amount of food, staying
Right.
out of the wrong places.
Yep.
All those things add up to make I believe, a successful fighter. And Yeah, it's a lot more than fighting. In the beginning,
Yeah.
I always just thought it was about the amount you train, and then I was kind of missing the other half of it, which is the recovery, and that's really important these days. 36 in the fight game, kind of like a dinosaur in the fighting world. So I have to kind of really punch in on eating the right foods and making sure I'm getting the right amount of sleep, and especially around fight time.
Is that right?
Yeah.
What does your fight schedule look like?
So in the UFC, you're considered what an average fighter would compete is 2 fights in a year. Busy would be 3.
Okay.
And inactive would be about 1 or so. But a lot of these guys are dealing with injuries too. Sometimes they
I
might
bet.
sit out for a year and then fight 2-3 times that next year.
Really?
So sometimes it could be a little on and off, with the injuries in the game.
Yeah.
'Cause it happens more than you think.
I bet.
What is your ideal? Like, how many fights do you like to have a year?
I'd say 2 is solid. In fighting, what we do, we cut a lot of weight in
Yeah,
general. Like
right.
fighters cut, MMA fighters cut a lot more than boxers. Boxers don't like to cut as much weight. They usually take a lot more shots to the head. And MMA guys, they kind of cut about 20, 25, maybe 30
Wow.
pounds on average.
Wow.
It's pretty up there. So to do that more than twice a year is difficult.
Yeah,
So you'll
right.
find that after the fights, guys will take some time off. But every so often, man, there's some outliers, and these guys are busy. Some of these guys will fight 4 times in a year. Some of these champs are pretty busy because, the busier you are, almost the more ready you'll always be. It's like you almost just want to stay on the gas in this sport. The more you
Yeah.
let off, your competition's catching up.
Right.
Right. That's something we always hear about. You're always thinking ahead, or people in general,
Yeah.
especially the people that are on this podcast, are
Yeah.
always thinking one step ahead of whether it's just people in the industry or their competitors or wherever it is. And we did a great podcast with Ty Law recently. And
Law, shout out to
yeah,
Law.
shout out to Ty
Yeah,
Law.
that's right.
And he during his football career, he was always thinking about, well, what's going to happen after my football career, and how can I make sure that I'm successful throughout my entire life, not just when I'm a professional athlete. And something that Maddie and I were researching a little bit today about was you have a very successful, it's called the New England Cartel. Is that correct? Your
Yep,
your
yep.
fitness studio?
Yeah, it's our team.
Yeah, so tell us about that, because that is something that you are obviously just a very forward-thinking individual who's sort of thinking about the full person and
Yeah, life outside of the octagon.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
tell us about the New England Cartel, how that sort of how you grew up and sort of how you're thinking about that after you fight too.
Yeah, so the Cartel is the gym that I fight out of. So I compete out of the New England Cartel, and we have some top-ranked fighters out of there. Rob Font primarily being one
Yeah.
of them. Him and our manager Tyson Chartier. Collectively we kind of all created this thing. I believe it was in 2019 we started it. So it's about 5 years now. We got a lot of up-and-coming guys getting in the UFC now too.
That's cool.
Yeah, Nick Fiore, Tom Pags, just to name a
Yeah.
couple. And there's a long list. I hate to name some and not the others, but yeah, a lot of top upcoming talent that I believe will be making the UFC in no time. Some of them already have, some of them are next up. But it's cool just seeing the
Excellent.
area grow around here with mixed martial arts. Because back when I started, I don't know, 17 or 18 years, something like that, years ago, it was very taboo, first of all. And I remember there was only, when I'm being from Methuen, there was only a gym in Derry, New Hampshire, or all the way in the city. It was like,
Wow.
all right, which way you going?
Yeah.
To the sticks or to the city?
Right.
Yeah.
And at first I was going out there in New Hampshire, and eventually made my way towards the city. There's a lot more kids out here that I feel like just hard worker,
Yeah.
fighting for their opportunities. But nowadays, there's a gym every exit.
I mean,
You know what I mean? It's
I
like-
got off at even coming into Government Center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see them in the city. They're all over the place.
Yeah, more accessible. So it's
Yep.
great. The sport's grown,
Yep.
especially in the area, and we were never considered to have a big community in mixed martial arts. So it's great to see that we're putting it on the map. And there were guys before us as well, just not in the volume that we're starting to have now.
Yeah.
We had guys like Joe Lazam, Marcus Davis, John Doomsday Howard, just back Kenny Florian.
Yeah, so
lot
many
of guys.
now,
Yeah,
yeah.
but nowadays it's really opening up, and it's credit to those guys paving the way, and then the UFC doing their thing at the highest level, making
Right.
it
Yeah.
all over the world.
I
Yeah.
know. It's funny to think about that long ago when you say about it being taboo, even in a city like Boston that is so gritty, it is a little hard to watch if you're not really into it, because you're like, oh my God, this is
It
like
is,
they're
yeah.
really getting are you okay?
Yeah, it's
Like,
a
you're
little
getting
brutal.
hurt.
Yeah.
It's a little brutal, but it is interesting as it evolves and you meet the people who are fighting. you're like, oh, okay, this is like, you can get into it, like get into more the nuanced side of it, like any other sport, and it's cool to see it growing. Do all the gyms that are in the area have teams, or are they more like training centers like yours?
The way it works mostly is like all the gym name is like your team that you're fighting out of generally, but you're seeing more guys kind of cross-train, mix it up, go around, but they'll all fight out of their home gym and whatnot. So for us right now, it's the New England Cartel, and things are going well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You talk about that your mission is to build, you say, the best fighters in the world and maintain a strong sense of community. And we love that because at Workbar, we really focus a ton on community and feel like Boston provides such an awesome community. Can you talk a little bit about that and why that's an important part of your mission?
Yeah, I feel great pride in competing out of here in New England. You know, we joke about all the time, like, with people from New England, if they like you, they're going to tell you, you know, and if they don't like you, they're going to tell you.
That's right.
It's a tough group of people, but, you know, they respect sports around here. They don't call it Title Town for nothing,
That's
you know,
right.
but they're big shoes to fill.
Title
And,
Town, baby.
only thing we haven't brought back yet is a UFC belt, and, you know, one day it'll happen. So
Yeah.
we're all working towards it, trying to put Boston, New England on the map.
That's very cool.
As far as the UFC is concerned, you know,
That's
it's already
right.
been on the map in the rest of the sports.
Yeah,
I
but the
know.
UFC is, I mean, even I have a little 8-year-old who follows it and
So
loves it.
cool.
And it's not something that when I was growing up, I didn't really know about it. My brothers weren't that into it, but my 8-year-old certainly is. So I think that you guys are really doing a great job as sort of that, like, you know, advocates of the sport out there, getting the word out.
Yeah, it's great seeing, like, some of the fans, you'd be surprised, like, a little girl would be a fan or something. It's like
Totally.
maybe do to Ronda Rousey these
Yeah,
days, you know?
yeah.
She might have got a whole next generation of girls involved in the sport, and then from there, the next girl fighters are all kind of promoting it, and young kids,
Yeah, it's so
older
cool to
ladies,
see.
older men. Like,
Right.
it's just, you never really know. Sometimes at the Combat Zone events that we host
Yeah.
every so often, like quarterly, you know, I have fans come up and I'll ask, like, who they're there to see at the event, and my favorite ones are just not there to see anybody. I just want to see some fights.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
cool.
like, that's the best. They're my
Yeah.
favorite type of person that just comes in and wants to see some fights, not really supporting any one person, but
Right.
just local mixed martial arts as a whole.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is cool.
it is cool. Tell us about the Combat Zone. What are these quarterly events that you're involved in?
Yeah, so if it wasn't for Combat Zone, I never would have gotten the UFC. It was the promotion that I first fought for.
Okay.
I fought for it 9 times, and I'm undefeated at Combat Zone. It's my
What?
home court.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I take great pride in that. I mean, it's just a little feather, but honestly, like I said, it was only promotion in New Hampshire and around at the time, so it gave me the opportunity to compete locally to then just first see if I even liked doing it or, you
Yeah.
know, what it was about, because I had no idea. I just got into it because my sister's best friend took a fight. I saw it. I just finished high school wrestling, and I kind of missed the feeling of competing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw him fight, and I'm like, what the hell is this? I got to try this.
Yeah.
So I started training with him. I started doing well with him, and then I got an opportunity to fight 6 months later, and I just kind of jumped in.
Wow.
But it was through Combat Zone, and then
Yes.
that same fighter ended up taking over ownership, so I fought for him 9 times. And then eventually, you know, he wanted out, so I
Okay.
took over ownership when I was about 25.
Oh my gosh.
And I've been promoting for 11 years now, me and my
Wow.
brother. So yeah, it's
Really, it's a family business.
it is family business. I got
Yeah.
my mother selling tickets at the
That's
front gate.
awesome. I
Yeah, I
love
got
it.
everything. I
I
don't.
love
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't
We'll
trust
have to
anybody
go to
else
the
touching
next one.
That's how it
money,
should
but-
be.
Yeah, it's, the next
Great
one's
Boston.
August 17th in Manchester, New Hampshire at the SNHU Arena.
Awesome.
Okay.
And so we're really excited about that. We really got a stacked card, and we featured, like you said, just up and coming guys that are really next up to get to the UFC, and some of them are former UFC fighters that are kind of working their way back. So
Really.
That's really
I'm gonna
neat.
take my
Yeah.
8-year-old.
yeah, it's a
Yeah,
lot
we
of fun.
should- yeah.
100%, it's a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
That's awesome.
That is
I like the
awesome.
amateur fights too, because, you know, especially on the lower level of the card. Me and my sister, we always used to go see the Golden Gloves.
Yep.
I don't know if
Yeah.
you're familiar with the
Yep.
boxing. And I used to love it, man. These guys, the amateurs, they got their chin a little high, their hands are a little low.
Yeah.
And they got a lot of heart, and they're just swinging for the fences. So
That's
it's a lot
cool.
of fun fights. You know, it's maybe
Yeah.
not the most technical, but
Right.
they're working towards
Yeah,
that.
you can
know?
see their spirit.
Yeah, the
That's really
spirit.
fun.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, we'll definitely have to go.
Yeah.
What is it like balancing now that you're not just fighting, that you're also a business owner and promoter? How do you
It's
make
a
it all
lot,
work?
a lot of hats, man. But at the
Yeah.
same time, it's done what I wanted it to do. I didn't want to have to fight for the money. I like to fight,
Yeah.
just
Right.
the feeling and the adrenaline. There's nothing like it, you know.
Yeah.
But
Would you consider yourself an adrenaline junkie?
I think I'm an addict for adrenaline.
You have to
yeah,
be.
I do too.
I gotta be.
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm finally realizing at
Yeah.
36. I'm addicted to adrenaline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so yeah, every time I step in there, it's just crazy. But yeah, as far as you were saying, wearing the hats, it's like when I was 25 and I took over ownership, I didn't want to have to fight for the money.
Yep.
And you know, the money's better now, but where I had injuries, like I just came off an 18-month ACL injury.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it was fortunate that I also had combat zone to be able to kind of get me from, you know, through that. You know, I was
Right.
able to stay in the sport
Right.
and make a living, you know. So it's great that, you know, you're saying about Ty Law wanting to be successful post-fighting
Yeah.
and post-professional career.
Post-career,
Yeah.
yeah.
So for me, it's like I'll always have combat zone with my brother, and I take great passion in hosting these events, knowing that that's where I got my shot and trying to provide that opportunity for the next generation of guys to hopefully one day get to the UFC like I did.
Yeah, I mean, you are a great role model in that regard to show the younger generations how you can take ownership of a business, you can stay in the sport, you can fight, you can go through an 18-month ACL recovery, and you're fighting in September?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, you're still in the octagon.
Yeah, it's
still.
wild, man. I feel like fighting is a great metaphor for life. You know, it's just like everything's a fight.
Yeah.
It's just
Everything is a fight.
everything.
Ain't that
I
the
fought
truth?
Storrow traffic just getting in here
Yeah,
today, man.
exactly.
I got my ass kicked, but it was a fight.
Right.
Yeah.
That they knocked you out.
Yeah,
Traffic
yeah,
on Struro
yeah.
always wins.
The
Traffic
Storrow
on
finisher.
Storrow.
The
Yeah,
Boston
the
finisher.
Struro finisher. I love
so
that.
true.
It's so true. It's crazy. And
Yeah.
now, especially, I got back from a little mini vacay last night late, and with the tunnel closed,
Oh, yeah.
the traffic is insane.
It is.
Talk
Yeah.
about getting
It
your
is.
ass kicked. I'm like, somehow I'm in Chelsea on my way to Needham. This is not right, Uber.
No,
Yeah,
no.
and it's just
not.
getting worse and worse.
It's
Yeah.
worse and
Yeah.
worse.
It's
But
not- no
guess
bueno.
what? We're going to live here forever.
That's it.
I know.
You never get us
We're
out of
gonna leave
Boston.
That's
New
our
England till I
reason.
die.
New England
It's
for
true.
life.
I've tried to live other places and I always come back. It's just
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah.
It's
True.
the best.
It's true.
Are there any fights that stick out in your mind in particular that you really, I mean, obviously you have to dig deep in every fight. You're literally getting bashed in the head. So you've got to like stay strong. But are there any in particular that you feel like you really had to like lean in to kind of the stuff we've been talking about, like your roots, and to really dig deep and say like, I got to get through this. Like I got to pull out some grit.
Yeah, probably two of them. One, I'd say on the winning side was here at the Garden, third round. You know, I went in the first. I felt like I won that comfortably. Second round was pushing back. I feel like the other guy was taking the second round, pushing me back. Third round, he's calling on the crowd, and I'm like, damn, it's my crowd. You know what I mean? It's like, I could be
Yeah.
calling, but I respected it, kind of like nod the head. But I had to go out, dig deep, and get a third round finish, and the crowd was crazy. It was a very impactful fight at your hometown. It was just, there was nothing like it.
That's
but
so cool.
yeah, that one was big, and then from there on a losing side was fighting Max Holloway. It was tough fight, digging deep, but I pride myself in not quitting and not taking a knee for anybody. You know, they're gonna have to earn it. And he was close getting it finished, but I was, I like to pride myself, like I said, also, and I ended that fight the way I started. It was on my own 2 feet, you know.
Yep.
And didn't go the way I wanted, but at the end of the day, I had to dig deep, and a lot of people I know would have took the exit, took a knee, kind of found a reason to get out of there. But even though I didn't get the W, it seemed to be like, it's crazy how many people still mention that being one of their favorite fights of mine.
That's
I'm kind of
cool.
like,
You're like, damn.
Yeah, I'm a little upset about
Yeah.
like, can you pick,
Could you pick a win?
Pick a win, you know? But at the end of the day, like, I get what they see out of it, you know, because I don't know many people that would probably, take that abuse and not keep fighting. So
Yeah.
I always say one of my daughters was on a lacrosse team this year, and they lost every single game. And every game, I was like, you get more out of losing than you do out of winning. And I read that you had said that somewhere too. And so I was like, it's so true. Like
So
you
true.
do, you just learn more from losing a game than you do from winning a game. I don't think they're my favorite things to watch. I don't think it's my daughter's favorite thing to lose every game in a season.
Right.
But I do think that it is that, like, pull yourself up from the bootstraps. You learn from it and you move on, and you're better for it eventually.
with the right mindset,
With the right
right?
mindset.
Yeah, with the right mindset, you could pull a lot from losses and setbacks.
Yep.
I challenge myself to do that every time, or what good are they? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to be able to pull something
Right.
from it. I try to remember how I feel in them a lot of times, like
Yeah.
really absorb that feeling, because I
Yeah.
never want to be there again, but I want to remember how it felt. You know what I
Right.
mean? I constantly try to absorb that feeling, absorb that how bad it sucks, and
Yeah.
just just so I remember what it's like, and I never want to go back there again. And I
Right.
try to do everything I can to not be there again. But yeah, you can learn a lot.
You can.
Yeah, it gives you
You're a
that extra
professional
motivation.
athlete, so you're gonna, they're not all gonna be
it's crazy to
W's.
think of.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's not,
Yeah.
and that's what separates some people from even trying. They don't want to go out and lose. They're afraid of failure.
Yeah.
And successful people just go from failure to failure until they reach success.
Right. Right. Very few successes that don't come from failure.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
part of success.
Very few. It's part of
Yeah.
success. That's
For sure.
absolutely right.
For sure.
Yeah.
So in the history, we'll do some rapid fire questions.
Oh, rapid
Uh-oh.
fire. Uh-oh.
I'm ready.
They'll be good ones. We had thought of some good ones earlier, but now I'm blanking that I said we're going to do it.
I know.
Okay, here's one. What is your most painful injury?
Oh,
Painful injury. I would say the ACL or I ran into a tree branch a while ago in my eye, and I had stitches in my eyeball. That one was
No.
tough because I had it
What?
like any light was just affecting it. It was miserable. Yeah.
stitches in the
In
eyeball.
your eye?
I remember they put eye drops in and they were cutting them out and pulling them out. And as they were doing
What
that,
are
it
you
was just a way. I'm like, it was weird. It was just weird. But yeah, either that or the ACL, just because the length of time it took to recover. You know,
Yeah.
it wasn't just a quick turnaround. It was like, man,
18 months.
It was a
yeah.
while.
That's tough.
Okay, it's going to take me a while to recover from that
eyeball,
answer.
the
My
eyeball.
eye is like twitching. Oh
Yeah,
my God,
that
that's
one was
crazy. That's so.
I had a lot of them, honestly, so I had to think for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do
I
you
bet.
feel like you start to just like not really feel pain during fights anymore?
I mean, I feel it, but my tolerance is a lot stronger than most, I would think. And I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing because I put
Yeah.
up with a lot of it, you know. But I try to balance it off with yoga. And,
Do you do yoga?
Yeah, I do.
That's
I'll punch in on
awesome.
that. Whatever I could do
Do
to
you
try
go to therapy?
Yin yang.
I'm kidding.
No,
Yeah,
but
I'm
I have a mental coach, so it's kind of like
That
therapy.
is,
Yeah,
no, for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, at the UFC, they've incorporated a mental coach. There was first a trial thing to see if fighters would, like it.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's taken off since. They realized that a lot of fighters could use a performance mental coach. It helps you
Yeah.
kind of lead into competition, and also mostly it's just outside of the cage, just how to process, just things on a daily basis. I
Yeah.
feel like everybody could use a mental coach. I strongly advise it.
Oh, I love that.
I love
I
it.
love that, Calvin. I totally agree with you. I think the world would be a better place if everybody had a
too.
mental coach.
Yeah, it's helped
That's
me a
very
ton.
cool.
I bet.
Mo-
That's very
like I
cool.
said, not just inside the octagon, but outside
Yeah.
as well. Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, mental toughness that's legit.
That is legit. Yeah, that might be even better than therapy for professional athletes,
Right. Right.
It's like
Yes.
really,
I mean, it's that internal work, right?
It is.
That's the most
Amen.
important. That's what you can control. It's tough to control all the external things that might be going on, but
Right.
as long as you can lock it in internally, I feel like you'll be a
Right.
force.
that's awesome. Many people probably already know this, but you've never been knocked out. So
Yeah, not
something's
yet.
working.
Nope. Something.
Yeah, a lot of knocks.
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so
Yeah.
far, yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy. It's a tough sport, like I said, brutal. Anything can happen any given moment, 4-ounce gloves, and that's if you're lucky enough to get hit with a glove, not an elbow or a knee.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's crazy in there, but so far,
Okay.
I'm fortunate in that
What
regard.
is your favorite type of martial art? I know you're a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, blue, purple, somewhere in there. I don't remember anymore. I don't do enough gi, but I do a lot of no gi.
What
I
is
know
that?
you don't know what that means.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, like, I'm
It's
like,
those guys that wear like the
yeah, the
karate
gi.
outfits. That's like the gi, like
Okay.
the coat and the pants.
Oh, yeah,
That's
yeah,
how you
yeah.
get striped in belts.
Yep.
Got
to
it.
promote in belts is doing gi jiu-jitsu, but a lot of times, like fighters, or at least myself, like I don't wear that enough. I'll do jiu-jitsu, but it'll be without that on. So you
Got
don't really
it.
get promoted in that sense.
Interesting.
So, but yeah, blue belt.
Okay.
Just the blue belt over here. I'm gonna get a lot of slack from the people that know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But yes,
Is that
like
your favorite type of martial art? Like, is that
I got a lot of respect for it because it is it's a human chess, right?
Yeah.
It's awesome, but. I love getting a knockout. I prefer getting
Yeah.
a knockout, and
Yeah.
I'd like to do either, like I say, boxing is one of my primary, I think, disciplines, or I've been getting in a lot of Muay Thai, just elbows, knees. Because like I said, if you hit somebody with a glove, it's good, but if you can hit somebody with an elbow
It's
or a
even
knee,
better.
even better.
Yeah. Knee.
I know? Get him with
Gotta
the
remember
knee.
that.
I try to tell my sister all the time,
Yeah.
"Kai, if you're ever gonna get in a fight, grab her by the
Yeah.
hair, because that's what all girls do.
And the knee.
knee. Just,
Okay, that's what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Like that's a ladies of Boston.
If you're gonna
From
fight.
If you
Yeah.
well, even if you can't fight, like
Yeah.
what if you get crazy stuff happens on the streets?
Look,
Exactly.
You
Ladies
always
of
got to be
Boston.
prepared.
Got to
you
defend
know?
yourself. Yeah.
From
you always
a
gotta be
professional
prepared.
fighter, grab him by the hair,
And then knee
Pull
him.
him into the
slam him
knee.
into the knee.
Yeah,
Him
that's what I
into
tell
the
my
knee.
sister. So
That's awesome.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
You just learned something.
We just learned something, yeah.
And on a more serene note, what is your favorite form of recovery?
favorite form of recovery, I would say yoga. Yeah.
Yoga.
Or if we want to
love
just
that.
active recovery would be golf, but.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know if that's really recovery because it's very stressful
Yeah,
the more
that's
serious you take
mentally
it.
Yeah.
It's not. It's
Got to
not
check in with the
recovery.
mental coach
Yeah,
after that.
Now,
Yeah.
have you participated in the cold plunge phenomenon?
Brutal. Yes, it's brutal.
okay.
They don't want to talk about mental toughness.
Right. Right. No, thank you.
Rough.
Right.
Yeah, but it feels amazing when you get out. I feel like it's like taking a Tylenol.
Yeah.
You know, your
Do you
body,
feel
your whole
funny?
body feels just a little better.
Yeah.
On the 4th of July, the water was still freezing, obviously, up here.
Yep.
But I was making sure to punch in, going in there periodically throughout the day, just icing the body.
Yeah.
And I could feel the difference night and day getting
That's
in and out of
wild.
there. Yeah.
I mean, I guess in New England we have like the ocean, which is our cold plunge.
Natural
We
cold
don't-
plunging.
Right.
That's
natural
it.
cold plunging.
Yeah, free cryotherapy in the winters. Walk
That's right.
outside for a
Yeah,
little bit.
just,
Yeah.
That's
Lucky
why we're
us.
so
Lucky
tough
us.
I know.
That's
in
it.
Boston.
Me and
Yeah.
my buddy, we always
Yeah.
joke around like, oh, it's freezing out. Oh, it's good.
Yeah.
Like everything's just good. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, the
Yeah,
water's
yeah.
freezing. Good.
Good. It's
Yeah,
good for you.
it's good.
I say to that to my kids all. I'm like, it's good for you.
Yeah,
Get out there.
I know.
exactly.
Yeah,
I
build
know.
community.
It's funny.
Thorough traffic.
I was
good.
yeah,
going
it's store
through-
traffic.
Yeah,
it's good,
good.
for you.
Yeah.
It's the mental toughness.
Another thing
Yeah.
you need mental coaching after is
It's
driving
traffic.
around the
Yeah.
city.
Yeah, it
I
is
know.
brutal right now in the city.
Why?
Good. Good.
What? Good.
You know?
Good.
Good.
Okay, do you ever eat fast food? What's
Tell
your
the-
guilty
Not
pleasure?
before the hours of 12 a.m.
Okay.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay.
That's fair.
Okay.
Kara had a good one earlier. This was the one I couldn't think of. What's your favorite pump up song?
Pump up song. I have to think about it. Let me think.
Yeah.
Oh, I have my fight song.
Okay,
yeah,
what's
yeah,
your
yeah.
fight
Yeah,
song?
my fight song.
Is that like your
Yeah.
walkout song?
Yeah, it's my walkout
okay,
song.
Okay.
Right now, it's Animals, House of the Rising Sun.
Oh,
Yeah. Classic.
Good one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good one.
With
yeah.
that-
does not disappoint.
no, that does not disappoint.
In all the
Yes.
mob movies, that's the song that they're killing people to. So
Yeah.
it's like, I feel like
Yes.
that's the mindset I want when I walk to the octagon.
Yeah.
The Boston
wow.
finisher. And then
That's gonna be
music
yeah.
plays.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's like
I like
goosebumpy.
it.
chill.
I
That's
like it.
very
Chills.
good.
Yeah.
That's funny. I feel like that's not like a good it is good, but like a traditional pump up song.
Yeah,
like, you
no,
don't get
definitely
pumped
not.
when
Definitely
you listen
not
to
a
that
pump
song.
up song. No.
Yeah.
But like the crowd's getting pumped listening
Yeah,
to
I don't
that
even know if
song.
they are honestly either. But
I don't know.
I don't know.
But if
I don't
it
really
pumps
care.
you
Yeah,
up, like,
I just
yeah.
want to listen to it on the way out. Honestly,
Yeah.
I should care more about what the crowd thinks about
Yeah.
the song, but I don't
No,
really give a
I
shit.
like that
Yeah,
you don't.
no, I think
I like that you
yeah.
You know, yeah, I want to walk out to. I feel like it's my song. It is what it
Totally.
is.
That's
I
cool.
could get the crowd more pumped up, possibly with like more of a banger, but I'm like,
Yeah.
Like
I don't really care, honestly.
No.
I should care more. I don't.
No, I think
I
that.
don't.
no, I like that.
Yeah,
a
that is a good
cool
one. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Karen and
wasn't
I immediately
expecting
are
that
like,
one.
Let's go.
Yeah, yeah, I
love
agree.
that.
I agree.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
know.
Well, we're going to have to come to some of your fights. We're going to have to check out New England Cartel,
yes.
Yes.
Combat,
And the combat
Zone.
Zone, for sure.
Yes.
Anything else you want to plug?
I know. What else can we plug?
Workbar.
Oh,
Yeah,
Shout
well,
out to you
obviously.
girls. Yeah.
We're plugging
Yeah,
Workbar.
we're plugging Workbar.
Yeah, and if any of your employees need somewhere to come work, welcome anytime, any of our locations. The closest one to you is Salem, Mass.
Okay.
If you ever need to get there.
Yeah, that's true.
true.
Well, like Woburn's pretty close.
Oh, yeah,
actually,
that's true.
to
Woburn's close,
Salem,
yeah,
New
yeah.
Hampshire. Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, that's pretty close.
Tough
yeah.
finding some people that are working these days or want to work, putting it in that
know,
work,
I
but
know.
Tell us
they're
about
out
it.
there.
Tell us
They're out
about
there
it,
somewhere.
Calvin.
They're out there.
I know.
We try
We'll
to find those
them.
people. No,
Yeah.
but people are generally. I mean, it's like going to a gym. Like you could have a gym in your house. But
Yep.
what didn't we talk about this? We listened to like an Arnold Schwarzenegger podcast. Did I talk to you about this,
No.
Maddie? And he was saying how he still goes to the original like Gold's Gym
Oh.
in I don't know what in
Like,
California.
it's
on
like,
the beach somewhere.
Newport Beach,
yeah,
Muscle
something
Beach?
like that.
What's
And
the-
Muscle
yeah.
Beach.
yeah,
yeah.
obviously he has a beautiful home
Of course.
gym, but he doesn't get like the pump you up
Yeah.
energy
It's all
from
about that.
working out at his house. So it's like go to
Yeah.
the gym and get your groove on, and that's how we feel people need to come to work to feed off the energy of other people.
I
It's
like
the same
that.
sort of mentality of going into a gym instead of working
Yeah.
working out at your home.
Working out your brain.
Working out
Yeah,
your brain
yeah.
and your body, people.
Whatever taps you in.
Yeah.
One of my gyms in the back in the day was in like not a nice area of town, and
Yeah.
the people used to drive by on the way there. That was motivation enough, to
Really?
work hard and get the hell out of here. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Really?
yeah, it wasn't located. A lot of the gyms back in the day, like,
Yeah.
weren't located in the best areas. So
No,
you'd
they
have a lot
weren't.
of motivation if you had the right mindset driving into the gym and
This
just,
is what's my ticket out of here.
that's it. Yeah.
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 Not mess around with it.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I
Come
hear
to
what you're
Workbar,
saying.
Calvin will beat you up.
Yeah, that's
that
it.
Could be
That's
Yeah.
the sound bite of this
That is-
episode.
That is
Yes.
it.
I'm
Or I
coming.
will send Calvin after
That's
you.
right. He's our new,
Yeah.
our new spokesperson.
Yeah.
We'll get you to do some ad reads. Thank you
I know.
so much
thank
for
you
coming
both.
today.
so
It was so
much.
great to meet
Great
you.
talking
Yeah,
to you both.
you
Great
have made us
talking.
both into
Yeah, we're gonna be
UFC.
UFC fans.
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, let's
yeah.
go.
My
Hopefully I
brothers
see you
are gonna
guys
be
at the
like,
next
"Who
event.
Yeah.
are
It'll be a lot of
you?"
fun.
Yeah, I'm going to New Hampshire.
Yeah.
I'm going to the combat
Tell us
zone.
that date one more time.
Yeah.
August 17th.
Yeah.
It's a Saturday, and also November 9th.
And November 9th.
Yeah,
Okay.
either
Yeah.
one.
Manchester.
Manchester, New Hampshire at
Okay.
the SNHU Arena.
We'll be there.
Yep. First
All right,
fight,
cool.
6
We'll be
p.m.
there.
What? Are you fighting?
No, but
Yeah.
I hope not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not planning on it at least.
Okay. Okay.
All right, that'll be fun.
That's okay
Well,
too.
thanks.
Yeah. Thanks, Calvin.
Thank you both. Appreciate it.
for
Appreciate
fighting
the
this
time.
thorough traffic.
Yeah,
this
you
year.
already know.
I know.